Screen Chat presents a Halloween special.
Welcome to Screen Chat, live from the Media Hub on rightradio.ca. I'm your host, Justin, and with me on air, haven't been able to say that in so long.
It's been a long time, but here we are.
Yeah, on air, my co-host, Eldin Justin. No relation, yes.
Yeah,
no?
well, you are not the father.
Shut up, Maury. That's what I was watching in the hospital. If you know, you know. As you guys know, Screen Chat is your show all about the latest Marvel movies, DC Comics, Star Wars adaptations, and much, much more. Happy Halloween, everyone, as it is finally the 31st of October. And today we're going to talk all about Halloween, what it means to us, our pop culture side of it, and just all the ins and outs in between. So I will say, before we even get started, we have to give credit to somebody for that intro. So take a bow, Eldin. Thank you. I hired a voice actor, and he's also going to do the podcast today.
I'm trying my best. It's a bit of a new thing. We'll see.
Amen to that. And then behind the scenes, we do got Dan and Megan. Thank you guys for teching today. We appreciate it.
Rock on.
Right. So Halloween. Let's just get straight into it. Halloween, man. You know, like growing up, when you think of Halloween, besides just the candy and chocolate, what else really sticks out for you?
I think of family. And I don't know. I think of like spooky. I think scary. Halloween for me, I'm the oldest of three.
Nice.
Right. So
Same.
like it was always like, okay, am I dressing up? I quit dressing up when I got older, but then I did it a couple times before. I was the Frog Prince. I still have that costume. It was in the studio for like years.
Dan shaking.
The crown is actually. We still have the crown here. The crown's still here. I think I have the cape. No, I had to picked it up when I did my. Yeah, I came back and picked it up once, but
Dan looks so disappointed.
Oh yeah, I just lived in a little like bag.
Nice.
I needed that grocery bag too, and I left it here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. Like to me, it's all about, and also like movies.
Yeah,
and fall. Like I love fall. It's a good season.
You know, we were all talking with Jaden yesterday in the studio about pumpkin decorations, and I loved in middle school like painting pumpkins because when you did it in middle school, it was kind of like your own thing. It wasn't necessarily supposed to be scary. It just reflected what you liked. Yep. So I always had like red pumpkins with like different designs on them, and then
just a fully red pumpkin. Yeah. it's just a bucket of paint on it.
And then I always remember, you know, growing up with my brothers and my dad, we would always like carve the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Mainly my dad. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna just say that now. I wasn't doing any of that, but you know, it was always cool doing that at my dad's and at my grandparents' houses as well.
My dad's a really good pumpkin carver. I was saying that backwards. But yeah, like actually, like one of the coolest things, and like also like siblings too. Like we did, my dad and I, for I think my first ever Halloween trick or treating. I think I was a knight and he was a dragon.
Oh, that's sick.
I think that's the picture. I have to find it.
Nice.
But then like pictures of my brother and sister and I all dressing up too. Like it's nice. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, another thing for me, you know, school dances. It was so good that I actually wrote it twice on the script. But yeah, school dances in middle school.
You spelled it wrong both times.
I know. Wait, no, I didn't. But yeah, school dances were pretty fun, especially in like that middle school era. I'll never forget there was one school dance where the DJ played Baby by Justin Bieber, and I kid you not, it looked like a walkout. Everybody just left the gym. It was actually one of the funniest things in my life. It was one of the first times as well, because like I think I was in like maybe second grade, where like I left a school area without asking for permission. Yeah. But it was like, dude, nobody was trying to do that. This. Yeah, so school dances are always fun.
I think Monster Mash.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
that was always a big one. So in Halloween, so 31st of October, Bob FM in Lindsay used to always play the crypt, like the and then it'd be like, welcome to it's like Dracula's voice from the original Dracula, and then they'd always play Monster Mash, and it would just always be Monster Mash, and it was so fun. So that's kind of what I associate with it.
Yeah, nice. There you go. And one thing too about like middle school, high school, whichever school that you're in, or even
college,
just Halloween in general,
the old folks' home.
Well, it was gonna be just chocolate. Like I feel like every time that I've like been in school,
unless you're a dog.
Yeah.
And there's no chocolate left.
Like we even like got Halloween candy like this week. Like I like that no matter what age.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, remember they brought some out so we could give them out to people. Like no matter what,
hiding them.
Yeah, off the record. Yeah. No matter what age you are, you're still able to give out and receive chocolate. So I feel like, or just candy. So I feel like that's always good to see.
Yep.
And like I remember being like elementary school, middle school, high school, college, now working out of college. Like that tradition still is that day.
It'll always be.
Yeah, and I'd obviously like to see that.
Also, toasted pumpkin seeds
or
baked pumpkin seeds are so good.
Yeah, that's a pull right there.
Those.
Yeah, well, now this is where we have the fun stuff. So you kind of teased it. You mentioned that you always think of movies. I obviously think about movies. We might
say movies,
comics
comic
adaptations,
and much more.
Yeah, so we do got just a lot of Halloween, I guess, pop culture and media to talk about.
So much.
And I like that, the goal about today's episode was really just to share our points of views, because from a certain point of view,
the Jedi are evil.
and also Halloween could be so one of one.
Yeah,
so this is more or less not even like a review. This is just like a loose discussion on these things and our perspectives on them. So going to you first, what is the first thing we got in mind?
Okay, so tradition, we're going to have a picture up of the iconic straight-to-TV Halloween Town. And Halloween Town, as a kid, like growing up, my nanny and papa lived like across town from us, and like we'd always watch this. We would always watch this, and it just was always a staple. Family Channel started playing it like October 1st, and you're like, okay, we're getting ready for it. Here it comes. And Halloween Town was always a huge thing. The costumes just look crazy in this, like the weird alien thing up there. Like there was just, it's so fun. So Halloween Town for me, like it's one of the shows that I think. Well, we were talking about the studio. There's been like 4 different ones afterwards, and it changed to Halloween High, and it just keeps going and getting different. But like I grew up with the characters. That's the wild thing. Like they were starting like high school, and I was starting high. Well, I was actually I think they were, and I was like, oh, this is kind of wild. Yeah,
I think it's cool when shows line up like that, especially gimmicky shows, because from your point of view, the Jedi were evil, and also it's like I could be this age and maybe I wasn't gonna dress up, but then you see Halloween Town's like, oh no, this is still fun.
Also, our costumes. I am the host of Eldino. If you didn't, I check out the show. Guy's pretty cool. And Justin's the host of Eldin's Arc.
Yeah, so I'm the host of Eldin's Arc. If it never took 3 different hiatuses, and the host of that show just kept going and finding animals.
So this is peak Eldin's Arc, and I'm
the
Eldino.
current Eldino. But yeah, and I think it's cool though, just going back to Halloween Town, that you have that connection with your grandparents as well. Like I would say that's what today's all about, in the way like some of these films or books that we might bring up, I'm not going to call them critically acclaimed, but it's the memories that come with them.
Well, that's a problem, right? Like that's any kind of holiday, it really changes how you see things. Like I talk about Christmas, like all kinds of Christmas movies that I don't relate with Christmas movies, or that aren't Christmas movies, but I watch them at Christmas time.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with this. So
and I think that's a good segue to the next one that we have. And this is really good here because there's so many adaptations of this in different seasons, but the Halloween of this really just sticks out. And we both have a lot to say about this one. So without further ado, what do we got?
We got Scooby-Doo. Zombie Island. Reggie. And like for me, this one was so weird. There was weird like cat people, which they never explain. The zombies. It was just such a Halloween movie. Like Teletoon or YTV, I think it was mostly actually Teletoon, would put this on.
Yeah.
And it'd be okay. Now we got Zombie Island. Also the alien one. And then the one where like there's the electric guy. Those are 2 ones, but this one stuck out to me.
Yeah.
The zombies were freaky. They looked scary. As a kid, it was kind of like, ooh, like, and like they had like this weird, like darker, like kind of like rotten flesh color. Yeah, weird cat people, and then like the Confederate soldier and like the pirates. It was just so freaky.
This had a lot going on for it. I remember seeing this in like kindergarten. I vividly remember that that box TV that was on the stand.
You had like Roma cat people. You had zombies. It was just so weird.
This one to me too really sticks out because, especially when I watched it, Scooby-Doo was really much or pretty much just the 20-minute episodes.
Yep.
With like obviously it's mystery incorporated, so it is
Let's
scary.
Split up, gang.
Yeah, but seeing Scooby-Doo fleshed out in a film as a kid that actually had frightening moments, it was scary, man. But I liked it. Like looking back on it, it was kind of like, did I really just watch that? Like, am I going to get in trouble for watching that? But it's like, nah, I'm just 4 years old watching Scooby-Doo.
My mom hates zombies too, so she always now she's like, oh, I can't see zombies. And like that, I think like this might have started it for me as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So, okay, so next up, I had to include this franchise as a whole because for me, I think back to when I was... I was 9 years old, 10 years old when the last one of these came out.
I'm still... so this is where I tap out and say, I'm cool to watch creature features, but when it comes to horror movies or slashers, I usually close my eyes and hide under the bed.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm a huge slasher fan. I like the traditional ghost stories. Not a huge fan of the demonic stuff that they do today, so this is strictly like from back in the day. So up first, we got Paranormal Activity. Now, this was like the hottest franchise on the block when I was a kid. Like in 2009.
I like Scary Movie when they spoof it. I love that.
In 2009, when Paranormal Activity first came out, it had a budget of, I believe, $30,000 US, and it made over $100 million million in the
we
box
could do
office. Like, the craziest part about that is that, and I said this to you off air, that at that time, this was the most successful movie of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is wild to me. And, I just want to give a quick overview on this movie. It follows two sisters named Katie and Christy. Now, movie one follows follows Katie. I just laugh whenever I see this image because it's all on found footage. It follows Katie and her new boyfriend Mike as they pretty much move into a new house and they're being haunted. Ooh. They go to different therapists. They go to like different
priests. Why would you go to a therapist?
Like it was wild the way the found footage was, and then they finally say, we're gonna set up a camera recorder and we're just gonna record it.
Your McAfee subscription's expiring.
Damn it. And the crazy plot twist in this movie is when Katie reveals to Micah that she's been dealing with this ghost her whole life. And Micah's like, dude, did you feel like, like when did you want, like when were you going to tell me this?
Would that be grounds to break up with somebody?
I think like genuinely, yeah. Especially because you
so.
just moved into a new house together, right?
Yeah.
And what was really crazy about this is that the spirit demonstrates throughout a lot of distaste towards Micah, but shows love and protection. Sorry, I just quoted a song. It pretty much embraces Katie, for lack of better words. I have my ghost notes here today, so I really wanted to,
haunted
like have the vibes here. The first movie ends off.
Hair on the table. Justin, look at this.
I don't think that's mine. My hair's not gray.
It's not gray.
That's literally gray hair.
Curly black. I have to vacuum after this now.
Anyways, movie one ends with Katie just killing Micah, which is insane.
Micah or Mike?
Micah. Did I say Mike the first time?
You said Mike the first time.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking about
okay. It's okay.
And then in part two, what's really cool, I brought up Christy, is because it's like the same kind of movie, but from Christy's point of view. So you'd appreciate this. Well, actually, maybe not. It's kind of like the Borderlands pre-sequel of horror because it takes place before, during, and after movie one, if that makes sense.
No, that's cool.
So what's really cool about it is that you see like Katie and Micah getting ready to move in.
Yeah.
Then you hear about their hauntings, and then Christy and her husband, who are expecting a child, decide to set up their own cameras. And the crazy part about
you move into a haunted house?
But the crazy part about this one is that in Christy's movie, it's revealed that the spirit that's looming on their family is actually preying on the firstborn child of the new generation, and that's what Christy's carrying. So their story throughout the first 4 movies is what I really like.
Okay.
I think in total, the Katie Christy story has 5 films. I haven't seen the 5th one, but part 3 is really good. It's like a prequel, and part 4 is my favorite. I always go back and watch at least one of these every time a year.
Too spooky for me, man. Too spooky for me.
We were going to show clips, but Eldin actually screamed off air, so
I'd cry.
Unfortunately, we just had the photos. But yeah, for me, man, Paranormal Activity, I think back to being 9 years old watching part 4 in the theater. So yeah, that I definitely have a lot of memories there. Unfortunately, to your point, it is really creepy because it is on found footage.
I hate found footage.
What's nice is that, in my humble opinion, I think it's the best found footage horror of that like era because it had continuing stories, right?
Yeah.
And like at least if you're gonna watch part 1, you then get 3 or 4 actually films that follow it and continue that story. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So back to you. What do we got next?
We're going to like a different media. As we said, media. So I'm talking about books. When I was in grade 1 and grade 2 and like grade 3 and 4, we always talked about one book. And like now whenever I see a rabbit with red eyes, I always think of Bunnicula. So Bunnicula was like this weird like children's book about a vampire rabbit, and like the dog and the cat always trying to like stop Bunnicula in some way. And like Bunnicula, today vegetables, tomorrow the world. And like it was just such a funny thing. Like this little rabbit is supposed to be like the Dracula version of
it's just a
rabbits.
little bunny.
Yeah, it is just a little bunny. So
bless you, dude.
I choked to my own spit. It's so scary.
What's really cool about it is that the cover is so subtle.
Yes.
So that's to me why it's daunting.
Well, it's also like the black fur on it looks like a cape. Like to me that was always such a funny thing as a kid. So just a quick one. Hopefully a lot of people who are like in and around my age, I think you might have missed Bunnicula.
Yeah, I might.
But I know Dan and I were even talking about it today. So like it's been around for a while. It's very fun, very light reading, and it's again like what would you do if a rabbit was a vampire?
As a bunny owner, I actually do want to read this now. So I feel like this is a really good thing for me to dive into just because I have a pet rabbit named Patches the bunny. So
since when?
Dude, I got Patches in April. I'll show you a photo after. I thought you knew about Patches.
Oh, it's probably stuffed.
Why are we making that assumption? But anyways,
You're not a pet owner.
we're gonna move on.
Okay, let's move on. You know what? From rabbits to
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
easy one.
For me, like I said, a huge horror fan, huge slasher fan. This came out in 2003. I was less than 1 year old. This is one of, if not my favorite, just pure slasher horrors of all time. I love this film so much.
I love seeing the inspired by a true story, like inspired by or based on. It's like you could have it. The one character could have the same name as the character in the original story. And be like, yeah, it's based on it. Good enough.
What's really cool, actually, and this falls at a good time because that new monster season about Ed Gein on Netflix, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's what it's based off of. Yeah,
what a crazy guy.
What I really like about this, as we see the cast here now, is the cast. To me, I really enjoy. You know, some of the names out here we have Aaron, Pepper, Kempa, Andy, Morgan, the sheriff. He's not on screen, and these guys are all coming up against a Leatherface.
Yeah, it's like
Leatherface's design in this movie, as we're gonna see it now coming up, is so like daunting to me. Like, especially being in 2003. I probably watched this in the 2000s, so this was the most recent Leatherface, if I'm not mistaken. So with that being said, I was just like so scared.
I wonder why they call him that.
Well, as we might see with this face there, he kills and then wears those same people's faces. He skins them.
People leather.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was really cool about this movie is, so it was directed by Marcus Nispel. And so I bring him up because he also directed Friday the 13th in 2009, which was another remake. Yep. He remade this movie, and what was really good about it is that it was not a copy and paste, of the one from 73, I believe.
Okay.
It was so different that you were maybe in the first half disappointed that it wasn't traditional.
Yeah.
But then by the time you finish the film, you're like, wow, that was a different take on Leatherface. And it was, in my opinion, the best one.
Yep.
One of his highlights in the movie is where Leatherface kills Kemper, one of the dudes that was in the picture there. And then he confronts Kemper's girlfriend while wearing Kemper's face. Ooh. It was insane. And another thing, too, about this version of Leatherface in comparison to a lot of other horror villains is he seemed unbeatable. And that actually reflects the final scene of the film because it's kind of a callback to the original. They don't beat him, they just escape. So they eventually just like outrun him. I didn't bring it up, but then
I just hit him with a car.
There's a really like nasty shot of Leatherface like as they're escaping, and you just see like his face without anything, and he just looks so mangled hair, all that stuff. I'm like, so I know you wouldn't like that. Nope, but
not for Eldin.
Yeah, 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one that I always watch as well.
Okay.
One of my pure favorite horrors. I could thank my dad for introducing me to that one. So
thanks, Dad.
Yeah, so Texas Chainsaw for me. If you like thrillers, you'd actually really like this because as much as it's scary, it does have a really good story. Yep. And you know, the opening scene is one of the most brutal ones ever. In the car, if you know, you know. While Sweet Home Alabama is playing, someone likes to play with guns. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I would recommend this to you, like genuinely, because I don't think, as someone who doesn't like the horror aspect, I actually think you would enjoy.
It's not even horror; it's just slasher. I'm not a huge fan of gore. Like gore kind of turns my stomach.
No, that's
which is funny because in certain ways it's okay, but in other ways it's not. You also kind of notice if you're watching, as you're watching today, that a lot of Justin's are actually more horror, and mine are kind of just like things that scared me as a kid or remind me of Halloween. So moving on to that, we have probably one of the things that like really like I hated this as a kid was Freaky Stories. So Freaky Stories was a talking cockroach and a talking maggot at a diner, and they would tell freaky stories.
That's amazing.
And look at the penetrating gaze.
It's kind of like me and
cockroach. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, am I the cockroach? And you're the maggot.
You know what? Sure. Yeah, let's run with that.
I hated this as a kid, and like I love the Muppets, but this is like it's like Meet the Feebles. Yeah. When you make them horror, you make them freaky, it changes everything. So that was Freaky Stories. It was kind of like a little anthology series. I think it only ran for like 2 seasons. It was Canadian.
Oh, nice.
I think so, at least. It aired in Canada on YTV. Wasn't like it really freaked me out. A lot of it, and I felt Halloween-y because it was always like very like spooky stuff. That was the big thing, and I find like when I think of Halloween or this time of the year, I think of spooky things. Like, yes, you could have watched Freaky Stories Easter morning.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd have the same effect, but if you watched it in Halloween or October, it felt a lot different. So that's kind of like why it's there. As I said, though, a lot of my stuff is more as a kid what freaked me out, because as an adult I just wouldn't watch it because I didn't like it.
No,
as a child
totally
you're kind of like, what's this? Hey, talking puppets, and you're like, oh.
It's funny because in a good way, like from my point of view, the Jedi are not evil. Maybe from Eldin's they are, but a lot of these films, I think when I watched them back recently, especially the one that I'm going to talk about after, I felt like I was a little kid again watching it because I hadn't seen them in so long. Like Texas Chainsaw, I only rewatched for the first time in like first year of college. So when I rewatched it in first year, it'd been the first time since I was a kid. Same thing with Paranormal Activity. I have not seen part 1, 2, and 3 since I binged them all before watching part 4. I always try and watch back part 4, honestly, 'cause that's my favorite one. And then the one we're going to talk about now, do you want me to move on to it?
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Perfect.
Freaky Stories doesn't have much to say. It's only one. It's like maybe 1 or 2 seasons. Actually, it might have been even 3.
I think it's longer.
Might have been 3, but like it's all like each episode's very different, and there are also episodes that are composed. So it's like 5 minutes, and then I'm going to commercial break. Okay, come back, and I'm like, welcome back, and now we're doing this story, and then
That's
5
pretty
minutes,
cool.
and it's like so it's very like choppy. But as a kid, you didn't know what to expect. You'd be like, oh, it's kind of funny. There's Frankenstein, and it's like now we're dealing with werewolves, and I'm like, oh my god.
What's kind of funny before we move on, it's kind of like the that's like a prototype to Black Mirror. Black Mirror is actually very similar in a good way. Some of them are thrillers, some of them are happy.
Love, Death, and Robots. It was an anthology. It's an anthology series, but it's also an anthology locked into every episode, where it's like 4 different stories, and they might be shorter, might be longer. Very creepy.
Yeah. So sorry that maybe 6-year-old Eldin was very scared of that.
And then like upwards of like 12. It's just like, oh, once he gets in there, you just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. So this one coming up was one that I actually just rewatched, and I was saying to Dan off the air that I kind of forgot how A, good it was, and B, how much I love this movie. And this is Friday the 13th Part 3. This movie to me was when I was a kid.
So is that like
Friday the 15th?
Friday the 16th.
So this movie, I remember when I saw it for the first time, I was like so engaged in a film.
I had 3D.
Yeah, this is the official poster. Funny enough.
I hate 3D.
Yeah. So when I watched this movie, I was really young. I was probably like 7, and my dad had showed me part 1 and part 2, recently in this like scenario.
Michael Myers.
Oh, wrong one. This is.
I know.
We'll get to it.
Thinking of that.
So in the first one, we have Pamela Voorhees, which is obviously Jason's mother. In part 2, we have Jason coming back to camp, killing these teenagers.
Okay, hold up. The knife though was the same knife that. It's like a kitchen knife, I know, but I've never seen that like that Bowie knife. Like, it's always a machete with Jason, is it not?
No, it is.
I still messed up. Don't get me wrong, but like it's always a machete.
Yeah, and then now coming back to Jason, so he ditched the potato sack, and now he finally adopted his iconic hockey mask. Now this one, and I'm a paraphrase from Dan here. In 2025, you might as well just start with this one in a way to say like Mrs. Voorhees and potato sack Jason are good, but ironically, the best movie to me in the whole franchise is also the first one when he has the mask.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch the first 2, you can just for continuity reasons. But in terms of the Friday the 13th vibe, this one to me is the best one in the whole franchise. What's really cool about this one is that it doesn't actually take place right at Camp Crystal Lake.
Okay.
It takes place at a cabin or like a camping ground that's near
Cabin
it.
in the woods?
Almost, yeah. Whoa. Say that again.
Cabin in the woods.
And in this one, Jason is just on a tear because he gets defeated in the first one, and now he's just killing like everyone in sight.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about this movie is that the girl that he I guess deals with at the end, they have they have like history from part 2.
Oh, okay.
And what was really cool is that Jason gets stabbed like in the head, and the axe stays in his hockey mask when he's on the ground.
Okay.
So then the girl escapes, and then the ending scene is one of my favorites because she has a vision of Jason.
Spoilers, just so you know. Go ahead. I've given them a warning.
Okay, there you go. It just ends off with Jason in a vision appearing again, trying to attack her. Then it was all fake, and then she eventually goes to the medical center. One thing I really like about these movies from the 80s is that I recently did an episode a few months back on The Quarry.
Yep.
And The Quarry is a video game that actually takes a lot of inspiration from 1970s and 80s horror.
Oh, yeah.
After playing The Quarry and then watching back a couple of these recently, I totally see it.
Yep.
Like Jason will be trying to like hunt somebody, and they're just like staying still in the corner. And then when Jason moves, you just run.
Yeah.
Dude, that was like every other QTE in The Quarry. And it's like, it's really cool to see that, and it made me appreciate both medias a lot. I know you're
For people at home, that's quick time event.
Oh yeah,
Quick
time event.
QTE, quick time event, means like you can screw it up and die, or you can survive.
Yeah, so I know when I was talking to you about my playthrough through the game, it was really cool because there's obviously decisions to be made.
Yep.
When you watch this movie, it's kind of like every time someone's in trouble, that is like a quick time event.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So it made me appreciate the old style of films a bit more and what the game was able to achieve.
If you look at like a lot of like early, like 2000s, late 90s, it's very much just that.
Yeah.
And it's cut and paste. That's why I have a hard time with like new age horror because it's either like too psychological
Or too demonic.
or it's too like body horror. and not the like tried and true. Like I'm a huge fan of creature features.
Yes.
We didn't put this in, but like Lake Placid, Anaconda, Piranha. Like those ones were freaky because they're actually animals. Like even Annihilation with like the mutant bear, that was freaky.
Mutant bear.
Yeah, that was freaky. And like that, I love that. Speaking of freaky animals,
yes,
I guess I'm cutting you off here.
No, it's fine.
Another thing
Let's
for me
move
from my childhood was Martin Mystery. Now, another classic Canadian. It was a French Canadian TV show, and then like they ported it over. I think this episode was called. I think it came from the sewer, and it was this freaky rat man. And in one of the scenes, he escapes from a shower by going down the drain, and I couldn't have showers for like I would have a bath. I'd have baths instead of showers. I was like maybe like 10, maybe younger, maybe 8. But this freaked me out so much. And I think that's why like my aversion to rodents started.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's another thing. Martin Mystery, again, it's an all year round thing, like 4 seasons. But again, it's something that when you watch it during the Halloween time of the year, it feels more right.
No, I'm
yes,
with you
you
on
could
that.
watch it Christmas morning. You could watch it after church. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But if you watch it during like at night in October, like it just feels more kind of spooky.
Yeah, no,
and
I'm
that's
with you
why
on
I
that.
really fell in love with it as a kid too, because it was so cool. Because it dealt with aliens and monsters and like genies and all kinds of like really cool topics that really didn't have. I think that's why I love it. Some people haven't seen it, but if you've seen Totally Spies, same producers,
Yep.
Same universe, actually.
Yeah,
So,
I actually can't believe I haven't seen Martin Mystery because I was a huge fan of Totally
I
Spies.
watched like 9 episodes yesterday.
Yeah, like my grandma and I would sit down and watch that all the time.
Yeah.
And then
Do.
then they had Amazing Spies, which was after Martin
I don't think I
Mystery.
ever saw that.
And that's what my little brothers grew up on. So like
Yeah.
I saw Totally Spies and Amazing Spies, and I had no idea that there was a
So
show
the-
in between.
The crossover episodes were so cool.
I wish I like when I was a kid, I obviously liked those episodes, but I didn't even understand what I was watching.
Yep.
Now I wish I could go back and watch
Yeah.
it. So yeah, Martin Mystery is a really good pull from you. I remember when I literally said to your face, never seen it. I looked it up. I'm like, wait, is this not Totally Spies?
Yep.
And then we made the connection.
Yep.
So yeah, this was a good pull. I will check this one out because
You
I'm a
should.
huge fan
Yeah.
of Totally
It
Spies.
hasn't
so-
aged well. Again, you think about it like it's like for young adults.
Yeah, it came out in 03.
Yeah, so I was 6, and like it's fun to watch. The memories are there, but if you haven't seen it, it can be a bit of a hard watch.
You were 6, and I was gonna say I was probably 6 months, but more like 11 months if it came out during Halloween.
No, it didn't come out during Halloween.
Okay, there's a
Yeah.
chance I could have been 6 months old.
Yeah,
so.
you were like a little baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. I actually have some books. So believe it or not, guys, I used to read a lot. Don't be fooled about what Eldin says. I have read books.
Never seen him read a book.
And there's no Halloween for me, at least, without talking about R.L. Stein's Goosebumps.
Is that in any relation to just Goosebumps?
Whoa. Now, for me, when I was a kid, I feel like I was in
man.
maybe 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade in middle school.
Yeah.
And they made us read these books. And I'm a huge book
I
lover.
hated the cover for Chicken and Say Cheese and Die Again.
Dude,
I can picture that because we used to have them all facing.
I remember like picking up some of these books and thinking, "Oh my god, what am I reading?" Because I was, as much as I loved horror movies, I was scared.
Oh, Don't Go to Sleep too.
Yeah, that was bad. And the one that I want to focus on now, The Night of the Living Dummy with Slappy the Ras doll, bro. Like, dude,
He has become like a classic cult icon now for horror. It's like Chucky, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's all like very similar when you have like, and if a toy becomes animated, you gotta burn it.
yeah, like I remember watching this, and I don't quote me because I honestly forget. It's been since 4th grade because I did not go back and watch this. I was way too scared. I remember all of us being in a classroom from all the different classes, and when like episode 1 was done, I was like, "Oh, perfect. No, guys, you're staying. There's more." Dude, they made us watch the whole Slappy the doll arc, bro. I did not want to watch that. I was so scared. The spirit that lived within the doll tried killing the little sister. I think they blicked it, like they shot it in the end. Sorry, I
Yeah.
think, right? If I'm not
think so,
mistaken. Because when they shot the doll, the spirit like went away, but then it came back. It like, dude,
burn it. Just
there's
burn it.
crazy, man.
If it's flammable, cover
Yeah.
it in gasoline, burn it.
I think the way some of these stuff freaked you out that you said from your childhood, this is like my version.
Oh yeah, stuck with you.
I will never watch this back voluntarily to be like honestly, I was debating watching it for this to be like, let me just like re-up, but I chose to watch the Paranormal Activity Explained and Texas Chainsaw and Jason before Slappy the Doll. So that tells you how scary this was for 4th grade me.
I also have a personal beef with Goosebumps because I told the story before where I had taken the book where like Frankenstein was the quarterback, brought it back to the library at Parkview Public School in Lindsay, and they lost it on me and said I didn't bring it back, and then I was not allowed to take out library books the rest of my grade 5 year.
Bro.
And then lo and behold, they found it in the library.
That's actually crazy. That same story, that situation happened to my cousin from Lindsay. So, but all jokes aside, librarians, man, this guy loves to read, and you really singled out the one kid that was probably getting books.
I think that's what actually pushed me into reading fantasy. Is I couldn't take books out anymore, so I'm like, well, I got to get my own books.
It was your canon event.
It was, yeah.
Every Eldin has suffered from that person.
Well, it's my
your Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben. It's what's another good canon event? It's my parents
Batman.
being shot in the alleyway. Like that happened.
Yeah, wow, man, what a great canon event.
Moving on to canon events as well.
So this is a good one here. I'll let you take the reins.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of this. Now, this is kind of funny, too, because I haven't actually seen this movie until, like, 4 years ago.
Okay.
I had seen the ones afterwards, but I'm going to talk about Alien. Now, of course, I said creature features. Like, this is something that is incredible. In space, no one can hear you scream. And, like, that was just, like, such a good thing. And it was, like, the practical effects, the guy in the suit, the xenomorph. Like, this just made it so good. Now it's spawned, like, I talk about Alien Earth. Like, there's so many good things. Alien Romulus. AVP, like there's so many good things that have come from this. And again, yes, not a Halloween movie, but you can watch it at any time you want.
Oh,
if you
want
to have if you want to watch this at like your Halloween party, and
you literally could.
Oh yeah, and it gets freaky, yeah, but it's so good about those practical effects that makes like old horror movies so unnerving.
And one thing I like too, and you'll all get like wow. One thing I like too, and I'll get you to backpack off of this so you could really explain to people, are the xenomorphs. Now, in this movie,
you got the guy in the suit.
They looked insane. So tell us more about that.
So the cool thing too is like what made this so freaky is it moved like a person, but it's not a person. Like this is a guy in a suit. He also was like tall too. Like he was a big guy. And of course the head is kind of bulbous. It's very alien, obviously, but very like uncomfortable. And like the human hands and the way like its head just moves with no eyes too. That's the thing too. That's the freaky thing too. Things that don't have eyes, you can't trust them. And like, it's the way it moved, the practical effects, the tail, and like the fact that like you don't know where it is. You don't know where it is in the ship. Then you're like tracking it on the radar, and then it gets somebody, and then like Alien 2, like it just added so much. And this was like the start of what made, in my opinion, that and The Thing. I didn't say this, but I want to mention The Thing as well. Watch The Thing, love it so much. Don't watch the new one. Watch the OG. Well, the new one's okay, but the original one is so good. And The Thing, it's that practical effects. It's that eye stalks growing out of the bottom of the guy's head, and it's just so freaky, but you know it's not real, and that's what makes it worse.
One thing too that I wanted to ask you about, just because this was hot, this just finished, Alien Earth. That also just finished.
Very good.
Didn't get a photo of it, but you also said the xenomorphs are more traditional.
Yeah, so there's that one. I'm fairly certain for most of it is a person in a suit. Just the way the person moves while they're climbing through the ship, it looks more natural.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell with CGI when you know, because it's like running on the ceiling or it's doing this, but like this one kind of looked a little more natural. And I like that because it adds that uncanny valley. Like, oh, you know, I've run up the stairs like that before. Like when you're at home and you run up the stairs on all fours. You're like, I'm like, oh, I just did that. Oh. But he's not human. It's an alien. And it's like, ooh, creepy.
What's topic of horror, too, just on the topic of horror before we fully move on, is that a lot of scary films still like to remake and remaster what they've done in the past.
Yep.
One of my favorite Friday the 13th movies is actually Part 2, but then 2009's Killer Cut that I brought up before is kind of sort of a remake of it. Yep. So it takes the events of the first one, canonically acknowledges it, and then does its own story.
Which is so good.
It's cool that Alien Earth could come out, oh my God, that difference is 40 odd years.
Yeah, it's a crazy timeline too, because like Alien Earth takes place. Oh, I just spit. Sorry.
It didn't happen.
I got it. It takes place like canonically maybe like 10 years. I think it's 10 years or 20 years after the original Alien.
Okay.
So yes, it's a franchise that is not quitting.
Yeah, and I like that it could still, like in terms of like theatrical release, over 40 years later, still keep its old habits and just make them so much better.
They mastered it. Xenomorphs, acidic blood, bioengineer or bioelectric. What's the term I'm looking for? I don't know. Machine, and it's just so good. Yeah. I love it.
All right, so for the next one, shout out to my boy Alex, because this is a big one. We have Brooklyn Nine-Nine, bro. I cannot talk about Halloween without the Halloween heist, man.
Why is the salt and pepper sugar on Terry's
Terry Jeffords, man. They're all posted up. Shout out to Hitchcock and Scully and Scully's birthday, bro, because that was a big one.
Hitchcock like Rambo?
I think so, honestly.
Okay.
Now, I absolutely love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This was one of the shows that I got introduced to by my friend Alex, I should say. And oh my God, I loved all these Halloween heist episodes.
Heists.
Yeah, they were so good. I just did a quick Google search. Officially, Jake Peralta, Holt, and Amy Santiago have all won too, with other characters such as Gina Linetti, Spaghetti Confetti. Sorry. My bad. Let me regain. Gina Linetti, Terry Jeffords, and Rosa, they've all won a singular Halloween heist. So these episodes are really good because, to your point about maybe other medias, you kind of have to watch these at Halloween. I'll be honest, when these episodes came on and it wasn't Halloween, I just wouldn't watch them personally, because if it's going to be like the summertime, I don't want to see the Halloween heist. Yeah. But when Halloween comes around, I definitely want to see
it sets the mood, right? That's the thing. That's why I love these Halloween themed episodes, right? Like, and when we move off of this as well, my next topic, which I'm not going to jump into. Are you?
Oh no,
okay. So then moving on to that, Borderlands 2 did TK Baja's. Well, we'll see in a second once it's the Bloody Harvest, and it was like a Halloween themed DLC. It was free. They just gave it out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you had to go and fight this Pumpkin King. And like, you could do this DLC whenever you wanted, but it just felt right in October.
Yeah.
And I love when games do this. I love when games have the ability to say, hey, we're gonna drop this very easy DLC, and we're not gonna do it again. But then every October, it feels right. Yeah, and you get Halloween themed skins, and like this one was all pumpkin heads. You can like get that pumpkin head for your character, and it was so fun. And I love when games do this, because games, TV shows, well, books are kind of hard to do, but like we're gonna do an episode. Comics too. Like there's so many good things where they do themes, and the Halloween theme always hits.
What I like too about Borderlands is that I haven't played the games personally. I've only played the pre-sequel. That's why I mentioned it earlier. Is that I know the franchise has such a massive fandom, so anything free they'll take and they'll love. Oh, yeah. So like I can only imagine not just you, but like the millions of people that also played it. They also just put so much work into
everything too. Like they have mastered it. I'm very, very happy to be a fan of Borderlands.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Shall we move on to the final?
This is it, man.
Now, what's really cool about this one is that if you asked me what is the best short film of all time, well, I don't really have an answer, because like who ranks short films? Like I would say in a scale to say like the best one ever, I could not tell you off the top of my head.
What do you count as a short film?
Well, MTV and other people counted this one as a short film, so we have to talk about Thriller. For me, like this is like so iconic for Halloween. As a huge MJ fan,
this freaked me out as a kid.
This was so freaky as a kid. This is like a 15-minute short film. On a technicality, it is. So it's so good, so iconic. All the middle school dances. I saved this one for this. All the middle school dances always played this, and it was just like peak MJ. To me, I love that, like, for as iconic as MJ is, I love that he also, like, did this, if this makes sense.
So good.
This is, like, the equivalent of today if, like, The Weeknd or Drake or, like, someone big like that decided to do this.
That'd be cool,
but they
would. Yeah.
It would be cool, but it's crazy that it's, like, a lost art.
Weeknd could do it.
MJ's music videos, such as, like, Remember the Time, Billie Jean, even Leave Me Alone, they're very, like, iconic if you're an MJ fan, because you'd rather watch the music video than actually listen to the song. This is one song by MJ that I don't think I've actually ever listened to just on Spotify. I have to watch the music video. And as you're vibing there, you said it creeped you out as a kid. There's one thing specifically that creeps me out every time when I was a little child, and that's this right here. The ending of it when he's revealed.
The reptile eyes?
It's like, so good, man. I hated this so much because I was like, oh my God. I thought he was a good guy the whole time. But even MJ had a little bit of fun during Halloween, and this is a must. I'd say every year. And I did quote this recently, but I just love how he starts off with "It's getting close to midnight and something's out there looking in the dark." It's like, oh my God, it definitely sets the mood. And I would say, honestly, this might be a hot take, but hear me out. I would say that hearing Thriller in Halloween is like the, I guess, equivalent of hearing Michael Myers' theme song. Like, I got equally scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny, when Dan and I were going to Tim's earlier, some guy was playing in the pit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, like, if Thriller's coming on, even though it's an upbeat beat, I actually get scared.
What's in it with Monster Mash?
Yes.
Like, I feel like you have certain songs that are like equivalent to that for Halloween. And I think Thriller and Monster Mash are the two best Halloween songs. Or Spooky Scary Skeletons.
Yeah, gotta throw that one in there. Yeah.
Especially like the trap remix.
Yeah, shout out Floyd. Floyd really likes that. Yeah.
Scary Skeletons.
Well, I think, just looking back, thanks for giving me your Halloween takes.
Happy to help, man.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the more conversational episodes where it's not necessarily a deep dive on all of these
and
media,
it's
it's just what we like.
Yeah, and I think everyone out there can at least relate to something we talked about today. Hopefully someone out there, can be like, oh yeah, Bunnicula. I remember that.
Well, in a good way. If my brothers watch this, at least there's two.
Oh, yeah. And
Maybe your siblings, if they watch it, Bunnicula, maybe.
Yeah, they'll know. Yeah.
Yeah, man, thanks again, though. I will say
to be here,
before we wrap it up, thank you behind the scenes again to Dan and Megan. And to you guys, thanks again for
Scary Skeletons.
That was funny. But yeah, thank you guys again. I hope you guys enjoy. Happy Halloween. It falls on an FNF Friday this year, so we can't be mad at that. It is a little chilly, so make sure you stay cold like Palmer.
31, 13. Friday the 13th. Boom.
You
Crazy.
cracked the code.
I know.
I don't think I could ever give another take on a podcast ever again after that. Good job, man. But all jokes aside, thank you guys so much for watching. Do you have any last minute thoughts?
No.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you guys so much as always. I've been your host, Justin. This has been my co-host, Eldin. This has been Screen Chat live from the Media Hub on riotradio.ca.